I think there will be companies who would make a conscious decision eventually to just replace all the sales agents with AI. It would be, in theory, not a good decision, I think, but that's something some companies would do. Just from the cost cutting perspective, I see it as, in B2B especially, you will continue buying from people. AI would help you, maybe like in our case, just trigger interest to make sure that there are less no-shows than there are now. But completely replacing human touch and trust, I don't believe in that.
Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to Chinet, where we learn from builders before the machines take over. I'm Rachit Magan, your host, and today we'll be talking about sales. As you know, sales teams spend hours giving the same product demos again and again to people. I've been trying to sell a lot of things lately, and it's hard. You run meetings, your customers don't turn up. You have to give product demos, but who's listening? Prospects also visit websites, but they bounce because sometimes there's no one to answer questions. Companies lose deals because they cannot be everywhere at once. Our guest today has created an AI agent platform that turns anonymous website visitors into leads, demos, and then customers. The agentic platform can chat, it can talk on voice, it can talk on video, and it can also literally give product demos on your sales team's behalf. So let's meet you.
Hi, Rakit.
Hello, hi Yuliya. So for our audience, that's Yuliya Fomina. She spent over 3 years at McKinsey across Russia, Kazakhstan, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore. She's done stints at Google, P&G, and Unilever before working for McKinsey. And she walked away from all of that to build Tylo, the agentic platform I was talking about. So Yuliya, can you start by telling us about yourself and a bit about Tylo?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. So yeah, I think Rakit started with amazing introduction. I guess something I would maybe add a little bit. At McKinsey, I was primarily part of the practice that helps corporate startups grow. So already during my time in consulting, I was already a little bit closer than your average consultant to the topic we are going to cover today, which is about GTM sales. And actually, I would say partially my work at McKinsey is what inspired me to what I'm building right now.
Amazing.
Which is AI agent that is meant to drive results. So this is I would say, the tagline that I'm trying to use and communicate to the teams we are working with. We are here to drive results with them, for them. It's not agent that just sits there and you just have no idea whether it works or just does something for you. We actively track things that indicate that there is improvement in pipeline, in conversions, and things like that. So yeah, very
Interesting,
happy
very
to be here.
interesting. Great. So let's know a bit about your journey before getting into Tyler. So you tell us a bit about your childhood. Did you always know that you want to be an entrepreneur?
No, I thought I'm going to be a vet in my childhood. So
Wow,
yeah,
amazing.
I was like a very idealistic child, which had very dreamy thought about life and just helping people, rainbows and sunshine. But yeah, somewhere closer to my high school years, that's where I really felt that, yeah, building something. I mean, really being an entrepreneur is something, probably is my passion, but I haven't jumped into that until I had enough confidence in myself. So if I could turn back time, I would have started earlier. But yeah, somehow, at least, yeah, at the time, I think I was in an environment which didn't encourage that much being entrepreneur. I mean, I'm coming from a culture where you have a conventional successful path that you need to follow, and any digestion from that path felt very disruptive. So yeah, but I'm happy that I eventually made the leap.
Interesting. I also come from a culture where
Yeah,
if you're not in that conventional part, then people think that okay, that there might be something missing, something wrong, something which this person has not been able to do. That's why he's
exactly.
chosen something else, right? Because he cannot do it. But what was it like? Like when you took the decision, when you took the leap, how was the reaction of your friends and family?
Yeah, my mother sat me down to talk. Yeah, for real. Yeah, for real. That was like that. So initial reaction, I would say, was not extremely positive. And I saw how many doubts there was. Like, I mean, and honestly, like on the surface for my family, I was exceptionally successful, someone who is, does a great job with their life, and then boom, and that disappears. I mean, it took them a while to accept, I would say. A lot of talks on my side, also to bring in confidence that what I'm doing is actually brings me much more happiness, and it's working. So why not?
Amazing. Yeah, I think it's that's what's been the driving factor for me, right? Work should be fun. That's
Yeah,
that's one of the most
exactly.
important things. Great. And as you said, you were in one of the best career paths, working at McKinsey in different countries. That's almost like a dream job for a lot of people, right? You're getting paid well, you're solving very interesting problems, you're building a network, of amazing people, and then you walk away to start an AI company in a very competitive space. What was that one thing that made you actually take this decision?
Like, I would say key, like if you're like talking top down, is just realize that life is too short to doing something that I just do not feel energy anymore from. It's like when I originally started at McKinsey, I felt like how I could give really a lot of my energy into work. And when I realized that it's not happening anymore, which felt like, okay, something is looks like wrong, because
Right.
if you do not like come to work and just wanting to do things, that's, and nothing actually helps. I tried many pathways. I changed projects, I changed teams, I changed different, angles.
Right.
And yeah, it just stopped working for me. I felt like my growth has stalled a little bit, and I just didn't see myself, happy anymore if I continue doing this. So yeah, that was the primarily catalyst that realized I needed to, just like really maybe come back to the passion I always had, and try my own thing, because I felt like I would regret much more not trying than,
Of course.
than even if it fails, it would be still better than I didn't try.
Of course. I think that's very it's hard. Definitely, it's very hard. But sometimes it becomes a very easy decision, right? That okay, you
Yeah,
want to follow your
true.
passion. Now let's talk a bit about Tylo. It's a AI assistant that can understand visitor intent. It can deliver demos, talk to people on video, chat, and the whole thing, right? Sometimes, although it sounds pretty cool, but on the basis sometimes your competitor becomes every chat company in the world, right? And there are success stories like Intercom which are, at least in the chat side, they're unbeatable.
Hmm.
How is Tylo different? What are you doing differently?
Yeah, very good question. And yeah, it's one of the first questions our clients ask me as well. Our primary differentiation here is we are specifically built to drive results. Like if you look at Intercom, for example, their core is just to answer questions. That's primarily, and they're good at that. I mean, I'm not like telling that we can beat them immediately on the front
Right.
that they're leaders in, right? But we are looking at a little bit different angle, starting like how we first enter our clients is with sales agents. So it's agent that would listen to what people actually are here for. It's not like help me with anything approach. It's walk them through the product, understand what they're here for. And this is the invaluable information that sales teams are getting. Even if this lead is not converting, they have a huge data set now that says, okay, well, our what people are coming to our website, are they even quality people? Are they even like the ones that are we attracting the right audience even? This is also, Tyler can answer this question if you look at the transcripts. And if they're not converting, what's going on, or like which, for example, video parts, video snippets that Tyler shows are converting. So it's a big analytics platform built specifically to drive conversion rates, not just like answer questions. Our agent can do that as well, but it's not its main purpose. Main purpose
Right.
is to convert, and we have multiple features that we
Hmm.
tailor to each client to make sure that our agent works for their use case as much as
Interesting.
possible.
Let's say, let's talk about a real example. Let's say I visit a website and that website uses Tylo. It's a SaaS platform for, let's say, email outbound marketing, right?
Yeah.
So what would Tylo do differently?
Yeah. So, first things, like, again, like when we start building an agent, we always talk to teams a lot just to understand what they're looking for. Because when you're mentioning, for example, your example of a company outbound, it can have, for example, a problem with conversion rates when they have visits, but nobody books a demo or like just they leave. That's one problem. Another problem could be we have so many leads we cannot understand which one is good and which one is bad, like how do we
Right.
prioritize. It's completely different problems, and so they like take a tailored approach. So in one case with conversion rates, we would try to build a fancy agent that looks good. That's important. Looks good, not like your regular just like basic bot that just
Right.
irritates you, but something that would indicate, okay, that's something useful, that's something that would help me understand product. And our agent would do discovery, show exactly the right parts of the product, because what quite often happens, there is a big video on like 30-minute video about the product, and I
Yes.
don't need this 30-minute video. I just need to understand whether you have a feature I care about. Like, help me understand, help me realize this product worth my time. So that's what we do
Correct.
for conversions. Very like not everything, just some parts of product that really works and that ends with the CTA, with the opportunity to book a call with the team and explore more. That's for the conversion rates. And we do a completely different thing for qualification.
Okay.
Then it would be different questions, different approach. So we are very, custom to
So do you
each
have to
use
like
case.
develop? So is it like a self-service SaaS platform, or do you have to develop things every time there's a new customer? Like how does that work?
Well, yeah, we have a lot of predetermined workflows. We are not yet have a self-serve. We are deliberately avoiding this right now because we
Right.
need to understand more of what is the full portfolio of cases. So for our clients, it is easy to build themselves. Right now, it will not be easy for them.
Right.
So what we do is like we can spin off agent for them relatively quick. We can, not yet, but we're getting there. So
Amazing.
frankly, our model is not yet scalable, but it's also deliberate because by doing this manually first, we realize we get much more information on how it should look like. So it's all done deliberately for now.
Yeah, I think it's good to not have a scalable model initially by design, because there is so much faff in the market. There are, your anytime templates now. OpenAI is building their own workflow system. Google's building their own system. But as an end user, I've tried using those systems, and even though I'm a technical guy, I've spent my last 15 years writing code, but still it's a pain, right? Like if there's a small thing and I'm like, oh, okay, I would rather just, being a technical guy, I would rather just write code than going to this agentic system and trying to build the whole flow, because it's still not something which someone can do themselves.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And that's also something we noticed. And like one of our aspirations for the future is to build more like a lovable for sales agents. So when you plain English can explain, I want this agent just to qualify leads. I want them to show this, this, and this.
Right.
When this trigger happens, when they ask pricing, I want it to do this. And yeah, it's done. That's my dream. Something we eventually want to get to, because yeah, we also see on the market this gap of a lot of tools, but when you look at them, you're like, it looks really hard. So yeah, we
Right.
are
Yeah,
also trying to get there.
that's exactly it. It's not that it's not that easy how people make it sound like. All the
Yeah,
influencers make it sound like it's not that easy.
it's not.
Interesting. So there's a community question from Kirti. She's saying that how does working on AI at a startup differ from working at a huge company? So
Mm-hmm.
let's make it a bit generic, right? How does
Yeah.
working in a startup building your own thing differ from working in something like McKinsey?
Okay, yeah, good question. Well, I would say I can answer from the point of view of consulting company,
Mm-hmm.
but I think for like other companies it would be a little bit different, of course. But yeah, at
Right.
least I'm qualified to look at from consulting perspective. The biggest difference, you own much more when you are building your own AI. When it comes to working at McKinsey and advising, for example, clients on how to implement AI, it's like you're not walking in their shoes with this. You're just like, oh, it's nice to have, like, I don't know, workflow agent like this.
Right.
I think I see a gap. You could like improve it by X. By if you have this agent, here is our recommendation. Good luck building it. And yeah, we can build it for you if you pay us a little bit more.
Right.
So, it's a little bit like, I mean, a little bit outside in perspective. You do not live in this, you do not own it. When you're building your own AI for like, I'm literally building at times AI for our clients, like,
Right.
together with them, it's completely different level of ownership
Mm.
and stakes. So I'm literally reading through all the conversations that our agent has with our clients manually, something I would
Wow.
never do in a company like McKinsey.
Right.
It works. So like clients should take care of it right now themselves.
Exactly.
Different when because if my agent doesn't work with some clients, I know it will not work with other clients. So I need
Correct.
to make sure it all, you know,
It clicks. Yes.
clicks, and like level of ownership is very
Is
different.
way more. Yeah, I think, and I think the impact which one client can make on your startup is way, way more than if, and not just client, like an implementation, right? The impact an
Hmm.
implementation can make to your startup is very different from what advice can do, or consulting advice.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, like in consulting, you also do implementation. Like it's
Yes,
a little bit of a myth, like when you just like advise and go away.
right.
Consulting does implementation.
Correct.
But the like the KPIs of a consultant is very
Mm-hmm.
different. It's not at
Mm.
times linked to like it really working well. It's like very
Right.
weird, I would say,
Right.
because your KPI is optics, is looking good through your leadership.
Mm.
So it's yeah, it's a downside of McKinsey, I think.
Right.
But you're not like very much a care.
Correct. Correct. Fair. And now you're actually it's deep into building AI for sales, right?
Mhm.
But then, where do you think the future lies for human sales agents? Will AI replace them completely?
I don't think so, to be honest. Like there are like I think there will be companies who would make a conscious decision eventually to just replace all the like sales agents with AI. It would be, in theory, not a good decision, I think, but that's something some companies would do, just from the cost cutting perspective.
Right.
But how like I see it is in B2B especially, will continue buying from people. AI would help you, maybe like in our case, just trigger interest to like make sure that there are less no-shows than there are now, but completely replacing human touch and trust, I don't believe in that. Maybe there are some like I believe like there are B2C industries out there which currently like it's impossible. They have too many clients to manage, and it is not possible to connect to everyone. What AI
Right.
would enable is potentially possibility to have one-on-one conversations with each B2C client because of the scale. But in B2B, no. No, I think that's one of the
Mm.
probably
Right.
one of the professions, like a salesperson for B2B, that will not go away, I think.
That's actually a very, I've, in the last 30 odd episodes, no one has said that. And that's actually a very
Mm,
interesting point, right? That B2C sales might get impacted heavily. So,
yeah,
because,
heavily.
the moment you're talking about 10,000 clients coming one day and asking basic questions, AI can replace you. But B2B sales is a more, that is human, right? That cannot be converted into the AI agent cannot do
Mm-hmm.
B2B sales. That's a very interesting. So, for all our sales guys and sales girls who are listening, B2B sales is a place to be. If you're in a B2B B2C sales profile, then Yuliya might replace you. But B2B sales is different. Well, let's talk
Yeah.
about using AI to build AI, right? Because that's been a very
Mm-hmm.
interesting topic, and that's been the most heavily marketed I would say, aspect of this AI boom or bubble, whatever you want to call it. Where do you use AI in your daily life?
Oh, in my daily life. Well, honestly, my favorite use case is brainstorming on birthday presents. It
Hmm.
always has been my big problem, and I almost built a startup that people find birthday presents. But
Right.
yeah, I think AI is now can do a really good job on brainstorming ideas for that. But frankly speaking, a lot of cases, starting from I'm in a foreign country, I don't understand how to turn on this washing machine. It just ChatGPT video call, and it's actually like at times it's clear you think like it's like a magic. But yeah, I'm an active user of AI in
Amazing.
a lot of cases.
And what about in work? Where is AI optimizing your daily work?
Great topic. My first comment to that would be is we currently adjusted two people team,
Wow.
two of us. And we are not thinking about hiring yet in the
Amazing.
recent future because how much you can do with AI in a day is just like every month it's even more because we also learn you learn how to use it better
Right.
and how we can build a feature in a day with AI because it just really helps automate a lot of work that used to take much more time. So we use it heavily and we have like we believe ChatGPT Pro subscription is like the best investment we ever had. Yeah, it's a bit scary at times for junior workforce because I could do like it's AI is almost like my assistant these days. I don't need a person, an
Hmm.
intern who would analyze a spreadsheet because it can be done by ChatGPT. So we use it all the time.
Amazing. That's both amazing and scary that
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
building such a big company and with two people with no no plan to hire in the future. It also
yeah.
gives us a lot of speed. It gives us a lot of benefits for
Mm-hmm.
sure as founders, but it's scary for the junior workforce because then
Yeah, true.
if you're not trained, then what do you do next? And that's something I think for them right now upskilling is the only way, right? You figure out how to use AI and you figure out how to replace teams. Like I think one junior marketing person can now replace a whole agency, right? And that's what they have to learn. But yeah, it's hard for sure. So Yulia, in your odd years of working in the corporate life and then now building such success does not come without failures, right? So what has been your biggest failure and what have you learned from that?
Well, yes, the first ever job, like real job I ever had, I got fired from it. Just like it's not many people know about it, but yes,
And not
it's
a lot
a
of people also say that aloud in a public forum.
yeah.
Like,
I'm just
kudos that.
openly saying that, right? Because it's like I consider this, and it happened very early in my career. I was like a teenager, I would say, but it shaped a lot of my adult life, of course, because when you get this shock content early on, that really helps. But really, what I learned immediately out of it, it's one, is find roles where you believe is like something where you can succeed. So it's very important to learn what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths. It's very like if you realize what is that, where you can be your like a best ever employee ever, you need to find that and then succeed there
Mm,
because it would get it you get you both success and satisfaction out of it because you can I mean if you cannot be like someone who can run fast for example, right, it doesn't make sense for you to get into that space because you would be a failure there, but you can be a huge success somewhere else. You just need to find it, and that's what I think like really helped me realize that because at times what happens in societies, especially very traditional, you have a traditional job you need to take, you need to be an accountant because your father said
right.
so, but
Yes.
you are not built to build an accountant like at all.
Correct.
Like it's not your nature. And you push yourself. A lot of people I see are pushing themselves into spaces that are not built at all for. And that brings them failure at the end of the day and sadness about their life, because work is a big part of their life. So that's how I started to realize, okay, this is what I'm not good at, this is what I'm good at, and built my whole career after that in where I could do really good work.
Amazing, amazing. That's a very good learning, I think, that you need to be where you enjoy working. You need to be where you're meant to be. And with AI, of course, it becomes even worse, right? Because if you're not enjoying what you're doing, you can never be that good at it. And now you need to be really good at what you're doing to even get hired, right? Earlier, it was not so. Even if you're average, you would pass through
Mm-hmm.
and you would get an average job. But now I don't think that's going to happen. Very interesting
So good.
learning, and yeah, very brave of you to accept it publicly as well. That that's something that has happened. It's a very big learning experience for everyone, right? Because there are a lot of
Yeah.
people who face such things. If there are people like us, like you, who say that okay, even if you're fired, it's okay. Maybe it was not the right fit. You find your right fit, and then life would be better. But yeah, you don't have to lose hope, and you have to keep trying. And let's talk about you building Tylo now. As an entrepreneur, what has been the hardest part?
Yeah, I would say it's every day you need to choose one path out of 100 that you in theory can take.
Right.
You need to pick one because you have only like one day. And like conviction that this is the right path, like being mentally ready that it should be the right path, but you understand it could be eventually not the right path,
Right.
is yes, yeah, it's hard because there is no one there that would tell you you need to do this. Or like there is even no one you can say, okay, like I mean, just like I would say rely on someone's judgment to make decision for you. Like in McKinsey, it was very easy. You can come to your partner and say, okay, I think I need to do X. What do you think? I
Right.
say, okay, yes, you should do X. And you like kind of have this internal conviction that this is the right thing
Correct.
that you need to do. But in entrepreneurship, it's really like you just, believe in it
Right.
and go through with it. The only way.
Absolutely. I think that's spot on. I think even for me, there are days when I just feel like that, oh my God, I wish I had a manager who could tell me what to do today.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have that. You have to plan your day yourself. There's another community question by WebHub, and he says that how did your first version of Tylo look, and what early mistakes did you learn from it? And this is a very interesting question because when we spoke a few weeks back and we were talking about Tylo is something which was a little different, right? And now you've expanded or pivoted, whatever you want to,
Hmm.
however you call it. But yeah, how did it look, and how has it evolved?
Yeah, really good question. So we originally started with hypothesis of fully replacing product demos. We felt that AI could do it. I think it still can actually, but what we realized is people are not ready to talk to AI for more than 5 minutes. It's just there is a certain level of, well, it's hard to convey, but it just data just showed us that full demo of a product, like no person is ready for that
Hmm.
to go through with AI. It just, for many it probably felt a little bit wrong, a little bit strange. So we realized that right now what really worked is what AI could do really well is show not a full demo but a short part of the interface that person is interested in. And so our conversations became shorter, but then they started to bring much more results into
Interesting.
actual trust into the product, into talking to eventually to the team. Like short dose of AI works much better than long, like 20-minute discussion that no one is ready for right
Very
now.
interesting. Yeah, I think that's a very interesting learning, right? You cannot even do it. That's something which can only come from data and from experience, right? You can sit, you can think and get your data and read as many reports and as many white papers as possible. But this kind of learning only comes from experience. And Yeah, because now if I think of it, if I have an AI giving me a 20-minute demo, after 2 minutes I'll be like, okay, this is
Yeah,
enough. But yeah,
yeah,
but if
yeah.
an AI can show me exactly those two things which I'm looking for,
Mm-hmm.
you've basically cracked it. Amazing. That's
Exactly.
very, very interesting. And thank you, Vaibhav, for that question as well. We had planned to talk about it, but I'm happy that it came from you.
Mm-hmm.
So, Yulia, you've been building for some time now. What's been the most surprising thing about having customers use your product? I know, like when I was building my first product, and I thought my customers would use it in a certain way. And then when customers came, they were actually using something which we just built, and we thought that, okay, let's, we would actually not even, we were thinking of not building that small feat, a couple of things. And then eventually those became our hottest
Mm-hmm.
pieces. So how has that been journey, or has that not happened to you, or if yes, then what has that been?
Yeah, it's actually happened. And what was surprising is that once a client just outreached to us, told us, okay, look, guys, you do like really cool thing. Can I fully like? Can you give me a space where I can just be like fully edited, like how exactly it talks, how exactly it responds. So like it's also was one of wake up calls for us that people want very custom flows in the agent, and the edit of it should be really simple in plain English. So that's because originally we were like, okay, look, we have our own like script prompt which we protect. It's our like, proprietary knowledge of how it should really walk person through the demo. And we were like super protective originally of it. Like we thought, oh my God, if we just give it away, our product, like, what exactly we are here for?
Right.
And then we realized like it's not the point. Like actually the point is giving a space, giving a like flexibility,
Hmm.
opportunity to influence this agent and make sure it behaves the way you want to behave, and giving opportunity to do that easy, because not like you build like this nodes flows which are really hard. Like I mean, I haven't, I tried a couple of times, like I gave up. So this is what was a wake up call for us, going from strict flow that we just like, okay, give me your company, I'm building this exact flow for your company,
Right.
to, oh no, guys, we need to be flexible. I want it completely different. And the next client comes, they want it like completely different from the client before. So we are like, okay, like this doesn't work like that. You
Hmm.
cannot just come with your template and use it for every company.
Correct, correct. So, like things like prompts and workflows, these are not something which companies can keep in a proprietary way.
Yeah, yeah,
Whereas when you
no.
start, of course, whoever starting their AI company would first feel that, okay, this is, I have to preserve it with all my life, right?
Yeah,
Very,
yeah,
very interesting learning.
because it took us a lot of time to
Yeah.
find the right prompt, the right like training model. It's just felt like, oh my God, it's so important.
Hmm.
Eventually, yeah, it's something you can advise, like how
Right.
to better do it. Of course, provide some examples, but people, many want to have control of
Hmm.
eventually how it works.
Amazing. So we're almost out of time, Yulia. So last question
Hmm.
for this session at least. So it's more of an advice rather than a question, that I'm sure we have listeners who are listening today who are stuck in comfortable jobs at Google, BCG, McKinsey, wherever, they're making good money, but thinking about building something, starting their own startup. You made that jump, and it's been quite some time since you did it. What is your honest advice to those people?
First, like important to make this jump only when you know what it means. Like only know the scenario in your head when this will go wrong. It's very important to not romanticize this jump, because I know people who do, and it's a problem. It's
Right.
because things will go wrong for sure at some point. And if you do it, you just need to picture worst case scenario, that what's the worst case that would happen if I made this jump. If you are comfortable with this scenario, if you are, then maybe that's the
Mm,
right answer, would be to make the jump.
right.
Because I just see many people are kind of having a lot of talk about I will do it, but do not do it eventually. And that could be a right call for them because very few people are comfortable with being a founder. Very few people are comfortable to leave the safety net. And that's actually a good thing, stability and safety net. So it's not the time like shaming it.
Right.
It's very important for life and just do and go in this uncertainty. And for many people, it's the wrong choice. But if you're sure, if you're even with the best scenario, okay, then yeah, then go for it. And and consume it fully, learn from this experience, which is, of course, very interesting.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, that's very interesting and to the point, right? That think of the worst case. Think of if you're making a jump from a corporate job to a startup, first understand that what will happen if for the next 3 years you don't make any money and
Exactly.
lose money. And do you have a safety net? Do you have a backup plan? Can you live with that, right? Not making money. And I think that's been the biggest misconception which most of the people have, that you get into a startup and you'll be rich. I think it's the opposite, right? If you're in a stable job, you get much more financial benefits versus
Yeah.
hustling and trying to build your own startup.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't do
Amazing.
it for money.
Yes,
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Don't do it for money.
of course, of course. I think that should be the last thing, right? That shouldn't be even on the table. It's more of I don't think you can make a lot of money in a startup for most cases, right? It's a very small piece. Like I have my friends who've been in corporate positions for the longest, and they're at least 3 to 4 times more. They have net worths than me. And yeah, that's a very interesting point, and which is often misunderstood by a lot of young entrepreneurs. Amazing, Yulia. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you.
And it has been very insightful, especially from your corporate experience to your startup experience. And you've been very honest and very upfront about your failures, about your learnings. Not a lot of people do that, honestly. And it's been great for all our listeners. Yuliya Fomina, she's the co founder of Tylo. She's shown us that, a risky career move can also be um, not moving your career. But if you do that, if you take those jumps, you need to be careful. You can find her converting traffic to warm leads while proving that consulting experience is most valuable when you use it to build. And if you want to learn more about Tylo, check them out. And if you're a builder working on something that could change how we work or change the world, reach out. We would love to hear your story. Thank you so much for listening to Chinet. And as you know, I'm Rachit, your host. Until next time, let's keep learning from builders before the machines take over. Thank you once more, Julia.
Thank you. Thank you, Rashid.
Lovely. Right, bye bye. Thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you.